A very good afternoon, all of you. In today's practical class, we learn about bleeding time, clotting time, and prothrombin time. Before going to the topic, first know about the physiology of hemostasis. Hemostasis is the normal physiologic mechanism for keeping the blood in fluid state in vascular system and for prevention of the hemorrhage by complex interaction of blood vessel wall, platelets and plasma proteins, that is the coagulation factors present in the plasma. Now following injury, initially vessel wall and platelets, they interact to control hemorrhage by forming a platelet plug at the site of injury. This is called primary hemostasis, which is we can assess by bleeding time. Now this is followed by activation of coagulation factors by series of enzymatic reactions to form a stable fibrin clot, which is a platelet plug enmeshed by fibrin. It is called secondary hemostasis. Now when healing is complete, dissolution of clot will occur by fibrinolysis. Therefore, hemostatic equilibrium requires normal blood vessels, normal platelet, normal coagulation factors, normal fibrinolysis and normal coagulation inhibitor system. Now in this picture you can see this is the wall of the vessel, and there is an injury, so the endothelial cell is injured and subendothelial collagen is exposed. And now this is the circulating platelet. At the surface of the circulating platelet there is a receptor called GP glyco-1 protein, glycoprotein 1b, and it is attached to the von Willebrand factor, which is exposed due to injury present in the subendothelial collagen. Now after adhesion, there is some enzymatic reaction, and the several enzymes present in the cytoplasm of platelet, they released and the platelet is activated. Now due to these enzymes, another receptor, which is called glycoprotein 2b or 3a, it exposed over the surface of the platelet and got attached to the other platelet receptor with the help of fibrinogen. Now in this picture you can see there is a resting platelet, and here the platelet got adhered to the injured vessel wall with the help of von Willebrand factor. Now the agonists were released and the GP2B3A receptor expresses over the surface, and now with the help of fibrinogen there is a formation of platelet plug at the site of injury. This is called platelet aggregation. Now come to bleeding time, the main topic. Bleeding time is used to detect defects in the primary hemostasis. It is also used as a screening test for vascular disorder as well as platelet function test. It is the first functional platelet evaluation test introduced by Duke in 1900. A standardized incision is made on the volar surface of the forearm, and the time the incision bleeds is measured. Cessation of the bleeding indicates the formation of hemostatic plug. Now it depends on the adequate number of platelet and on the ability of the platelet to adhere to the subendothelium. There are several methods like standard template method, Duke's method and Ivey's method. For our practical purpose, we have to know about the Ivey's method. For this, we need a blood pressure machine, a disposable lancet, stopwatch, filter paper and spirit or alcohol. Now first clean the inner aspect of the forearm, then place a blood pressure cuff on the upper arm and inflate to 40 mm of mercury. Then select an area on the volar surface which is devoid of veins. It should be performed at room temperature. A disposable lancet with a point of about 3 mm is taken. Now 3 skin punctures are made and a stopwatch is started as soon as the bleeding starts in each wound. Using the edge of the filter paper, blot the blood accumulated over the wound. The time from which incision was made to the time at which the bleeding stops to stain the filter paper is taken. The average of the 3 bleeding time is taken. Now the blood pressure cuff is removed and the puncture wounds are cleaned and a sterile bandage applied. If bleeding continues more than 15 minutes, then apply the pressure and repeat the bleeding time on another arm. The reports should be correlated with platelet count and the finger prick smear. This method is a standardized method and bleeding time is more accurate. The normal bleeding time by IV's method is 2 to 7 minutes. But the problem with this method is the puncture wound may close before the cessation of the bleeding. That's why it's not a very reliable test. Now, standard template method, which is more standardized method for the bleeding time. It uses a glass and plastic template and allows the lancet to make a cut 5 mm long and 1 mm deep. So the disadvantage is it can produce a large scar and keloid to the predisposed individuals. Now this test is sensitive and reproducible, and it can detect even minor alterations in the platelet function. Now another method is Duke's method. Here we use the ear lobule. First, clean the earlobe with the alcohol sponge, and in case of infants, the heel of foot is used. Now hold a glass slide behind the earlobe, make a deep puncture with the sterile lancet, start the stopwatch, discard the glass slide, using the filter paper, blot the drop of the blood coming out from the incision. Now when bleeding ceases, stop the stopwatch and count the number of the drops on the filter paper and multiply by 30 seconds. Now the advantage is the ear lobule contains abundant subcutaneous tissue and is very vascular, so flow of the blood is quite good. The normal bleeding time is 3 to 5 minutes. But it is difficult to get a standardized wound in the ear lobule, and it can cause a large local hematoma. Now the prolonged bleeding time. The causes of prolonged bleeding time are thrombocytopenia, disorders in the platelet function like thrombocythemia, storage pool disease, Bernard-Sollier syndrome, afibrinogenemia, severe hyperfibrinogenemia, vascular disorders, aspirin, aplastic anemia, acute leukemia, liver diseases, von Willebrand factor disease, DIC, vascular abnormalities like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and severe deficiency of factor 5 and 11. Now coming to the next topic is clotting time. This is the time it takes for the whole blood drawn from a vein and immediately placed in a container to clot. It measures all stages of the intrinsic coagulation. It is not a very sensitive method, and we have to avoid contamination with tissue fluid. Now, other different methods. First is venipuncture method, which is also known as modified Lee and White method, then capillary method, and heparin retarded blood coagulation time. Now for venipuncture method, we have to collect the sample by 2 syringe technique to avoid interference from the tissue fluid. First, draw 1 ml of blood into the first syringe, and without disturbing the position of the needle, second syringe attached and blood is drawn. We need a cotton wool or surgical gauze soaked in alcohol or plastic syringes, test tube, water bath, and stopwatch. First 2 ml of venous blood collected quickly. Start the stopwatch as soon as the blood enters the syringe. Now fill each of the tube to 1 ml of mark and plug the tube and place them in water bath at 37 degrees centigrade. After 5 minutes, tilt the first tube at an angle of 45 degrees. If not clotted, return to the water bath. Now examine at an interval of 30 seconds, and when the blood is clotted, it can be tilted at an angle of 90 degrees without spilling the content. As soon as blood is clotted, immediately examine the second tube and stop the stopwatch and note the time. The coagulation time is the clotting time of the second tube. In this picture, we can see the test tube, and in this picture, we can see when the tube is tilted to 45 degrees and there is a formation of clot. Now the advantage is it is more accurate and standard method, and it can be run with control. But there is a chances of contamination of syringes and tubes. Now the normal value by this method is 8 to 15 minutes. There are several sources of error like faulty technique, inappropriate volume of blood, faulty venipuncture, air bubble may enter the syringe, diameter of the glass tube should be uniform, always use clean glassware in the plastic syringes, and vigorous agitation should be avoided. Now the capillary method. Here we puncture the skin, blood is taken to a plain capillary tube and a stopwatch started. The formation of fibrin strings is noted by breaking the capillary tube at regular interval. The time taken for the first appearance of the fibrin string is noted. Here we need a disposable lancet, a capillary tube 10 to 15 cm of length and 1.5 mm diameter without anticoagulant. First make an incision to the finger with a sterile disposable lancet. Then as soon as blood is visible, start the stopwatch, wipe off the first drop of blood, then allow second drop of blood to flow to capillary tube. After 2 minutes, break off the capillary tubing 1 to 2 cm from the end. And when a thin string of fibrin can be seen in between the broken end of the capillary tube, stop the watch and note the time. Then report the clotting time. Now the disadvantage of this method is capillary blood always contaminated with the tissue fluid. That's why this method is insensitive and not very reliable. But the advantage is it can be performed when venous blood cannot be obtained. Another method is heparin retarded blood coagulation time. Here we need a isotonic saline and venous blood freshly drawn into the syringe. Now add 1 ml of heparin solution in a clean dry test tube in water bath at 37 degrees centigrade. Then add 1 ml of blood to this test tube and invert twice. At the end of 12 minutes, tilt the tube gently at 1 minute interval and look for clot formation. Now the normal range is 20 to 35 minutes. This test appears to be the most valuable single test of coagulation. Test used to detect hypercoagulable and hypocoagulable states. Prolonged clotting time seen in deficiency states involving anti-hemophilia globulin, plasma thromboplastin component, plasma thromboplastin activator. Also prolonged in the patient with bone marrow depression and thrombocytopenia. Activated clotting time. Activated clotting time used to assess heparin effects during cardiac surgery. Here, negatively charged clotting cascade activators are used like Cylite and kaolin. The normal value when Cylite is used is 100 to 170 seconds, and when kaolin is used it is 90 to 150 seconds. Here only severe clotting factor deficiency can be recognized, and prolonged clotting time more than 10 minutes, then patient should be subjected to more detailed test. This test is used to monitor heparin therapy. Now coming to prothrombin time. Prothrombin time is a blood test that measures how long it takes blood to clot. A prothrombin time test can be used to check for bleeding problems. Now prothrombin time is also used to check whether medicine to prevent blood clots is working or not. It is also called as INR test. Now prothrombin time assesses coagulation factors in extrinsic pathway, that is factor 7, and common pathway factor 10, 5, prothrombin and fibrinogen. The principle of this test is tissue thromboplastin and calcium, they are added to the plasma and clotting time is determined. We need a water bath, a glass test tube and stopwatch. The reagent we need is thromboplastin reagent, contains tissue factors and phospholipids and calcium chloride. And the specimen, here we used platelet poor citrated plasma. Now prothrombin time is done by quick method. Here first we centrifuge the blood sample at 2500 to 3000 rpm for 15 minutes and separate the plasma from the cells as soon as possible. That's why we get platelet poor plasma. Now label the two glass test tubes as test tube number 1 and 2. Add 0.1 ml of platelet patient plasma to each glass tube. Then label the another test tube as a control and add control plasma 0.1 ml. Now incubate them at 37 degrees centigrade and add 0.1 ml of pre-warmed thromboplastin reagent into the tube. After 1 minute, add 0.1 ml of calcium chloride and start the stopwatch and record the time required for clot formation. The normal range is 11 to 16 seconds. Now what is INR? INR is International Normalized Ratio, which is introduced by WHO in 1983. The prothrombin time results of different labs using different thromboplastin reagent like ox brain, rabbit brain, they may lead to different result. So that leads to misinterpretation. Therefore, all the thromboplastin reagents distributed are calibrated against the WHO reference thromboplastin preparation, and the calibration number is called International Sensitivity Index, that is ISI. INR is calculated by this formula. The prothrombin time of patient is divided by prothrombin time of control power of ISI. Now this ISI is provided by manufacturer and compared with the reference thromboplastin of known ISI. So uses of INR: it allows the prothrombin time results to be compared among the labs across the world. Used to monitor patients taking oral anticoagulant, but it is not used for initial evaluation of the hemostatic system. INR should be maintained in the therapeutic range for a particular indication. For adequate anticoagulation for prevention of thrombosis, and it also checks excess doses which will cause bleeding. Now increased prothrombin time. It is increased in disseminated intravascular coagulation, liver diseases, vitamin K deficiency, oral anticoagulant therapy, and several coagulation factors like 5, 7 and 10 deficiency. So that's all about this today's practical class. Thank you very much.